Pool Behind Midnight by Clinton J. Boomer, as read by Clinton J. Boomer. Prologue in Chapter 1. Prologue. Fuck prologues. I hate them, and I have declined to include one. My name is Royden Poole, and this is my side of the story. Chapter 1. I didn't want to answer my phone. That should be clearly understood right up front. And I certainly didn't want to do any of the things that answering my phone at this time of night would inevitably and invariably lead to, like leaving my apartment or getting shot in the face. What I wanted to do, it should be noted, was roll over and go back to sleep. Failing that, I wanted to get onto the internet, look at pornography, jerk off, and then go back to sleep. Failing that, I wanted to get very drunk, strongly consider calling my ex-girlfriend Tamika to let her know that I was not dead, that I wanted her to come over, hate myself very much, browse the internet for porn instead, jerk off, and finally go back to sleep. All of my plans involved going back to sleep is my point. That was the universal end goal. Also, I had found a pretty slick website online with a girl who looks a lot like Tama if you squint just right while either crying or drunk. Or both. My phone kept ringing. Christ, this whole being dead thing was killing me. I stared at the phone. I tried to make it stop ringing by hating it enough, but unfortunately the call said Ladislav. He's the sort of person who will keep calling until you pick up, or, failing that, come over to your apartment and pick you up himself. One of the major flaws of passing for dead in this town is that if someone knows that you're alive and where you're keeping yourself, they pretty much have 24-hour-a-day access to you. Otherwise, I never would have picked up, is my point. It's not like I'm so starved for human attention I actually wanted to talk to Detective Ladislav of all fucking people. I sat up, shook on a cigarette, lit it, sighed, and picked up the phone. This is Royden. I hate you for calling me right now. I've got a nut for you to crack, Poole. I don't do that anymore. I'm dead, remember? I have a contract killer here who won't stop crying. I'm missing persons on two of the richest men in the metro area. There's a busted floor stave here. Looks like it was burned open with acid. Forensics can't tell me shit. $500,000 in unmarked cash is sitting on my desk untouched. My guys can't account for a ceramic vase. I have a shooting and no body. There's something brewing here, and I don't know what it is. You know how I get when I don't have answers, Poole. I want you to come down to the station and find out what the fuck my only eyewitness knows. Jesus. Even dead, my life is a mess. Yeah, that's going to be really tough for me, Detective. I can't, leave my apartment right now. You were the guy who told me to stay dead, remember? And then later, you called me, and then I hung up on you? It was right now? Okay, so bye. There's going to be a goddamn squad car in front of your apartment in about 4 minutes, Poole. If you're not in front to meet it, I'm sending a pair of officers up to your fucking coffin to bring you down in handcuffs. And I will tell them that you are to be considered both armed and dangerous. Christ, when I tell them I have a kilo of coke up my ass, too. I haven't had a date in months. Like, can't this wait until morning, Ladislav? It's 20 till midnight, Poole. I want you to use your little witching hour bullshit on my perp. Christ, you pull the curtains back, you show a guy the secret behind the universe, he still calls it bullshit. All right, well, let me slip into my coat full of doves and hidden handkerchiefs, but I'll tell you, Ladislav, it's a night like this that make me wonder why I even bothered faking my death in the first place. Be downstairs in 3 minutes, you little wise ass. Oh, of course. He saves the short jokes until right before he hangs up on me. What a dick. 2.5 minutes later, a squad car pulls up in front of my stoop, lights rolling. The alleyway hookers and my crackhead neighbors gazed at me with newfound suspicion as I stood up, grunting, and flicked the last orange glow embers of my cigarette butt into the street. Don't worry, everybody. It's just a matter of some unpaid parking tickets. Passenger side door opened up, and a young-looking cop stared at me like I was about to do a trick. I tried to make all 3'10" of me seem as simultaneously intimidating and disinterested as possible, while also pretending that walking down a whole 2 flight of stairs for the first time in several months hadn't hurt my knees like I'd whacked them both with a hammer and made my hip cramp up like it always does. Here's to hoping that it worked. Real subtle there, guys. I do have to live around here. The driver's side door opened and a fat, hatefully familiar face poked over the car's roof. That's not what I heard, Poole. In fact, I was just telling Officer Merrick here about how we're on county coroner's detail tonight. Fucking Krabowski, the only guy I know who can look rumpled and smelly even in freshly pressed dress blues. Oh, right. Picking up a dead guy. Ho, ho, ho. Very fucking funny, Lieutenant. He grinned and flicked a toothpick back and forth with his tongue in that way that always makes me want to punch him right in the goddamn balls. Help the nice sawed-off little sideshow magician into the car, Officer Merrick. There's a big birthday party downtown, and I guess the balloon animal guy canceled. I could swear that the kid mumbled something about a clown, and then he shut up when I glared at him. Smart move on his part. I stormed towards him, and the still dumbstruck young cop popped the back door open, hesitating to try to push me in. I took the opportunity to wave at my adoring audience of whores and bums before slipping into the car under my own power, refusing to give the kid the satisfaction of watching me struggle up into the seat. My eyes immediately started stinging. Someone had puked back here, and recently. I tried to get comfortable. So, Lieutenant, is there any use in me pointing out that you're the ones who called me? 3 doors slammed, one after another. Nope. Just checking. I sat back and tried to think while the car took off at about 80 miles an hour, lurching through one gut-wrenching turn after another. I pulled out my cell phone to check the time, trying not to dislodge the large knife I had hidden in my coat. If grinning, infuriating old Lieutenant Karbowski didn't get us killed first, we'd be at the station just about on time. Okay, the detective thought I was going to rabbit. That much was clear. Why else send a squad car or call me mere moments before they got there? That meant something, but I was still too groggy to put it together. Also, this was a last-minute panic decision. They would have exhausted every possibility they had before they called me. Again, that meant something. What, though, I had no idea. Also, who the fuck puked back here, and what the fuck had they been eating? Infected sewer runoff? We pulled right up to the station. I checked my cell phone. 6 minutes till. Great. Lieutenant Douchebag hustled me through a sea of blue uniforms and confused looks. Half the force was here tonight. Hey, how you doing? Special Investigator Magic Midget Hindu Dead Guy here, just passing through. I'll be out of your hair in like 5 minutes tops. I was taken directly to interrogation. Boy, that brought back some memories. Ladislav was waiting for me, his perpetual scowl cranked up to just past 11 and reminding me of pretty much every other time I had ever seen him. Even wearing that same ugly yellow tie. Pull. Evening to you too, sir. Where's my guy? In there. I'm going to have a camera on you the whole time. I'm not going to do you much good, but knock yourself out. Well, I'll see you in about... I glanced at my cell phone. 2 minutes. Your time. I reached for the door and then thought better of it. Hey, you got a cup of coffee? Without a word, the detective pushed a steaming styrofoam cup into my hand. What a guy. Glad to have him on the team. The door shut behind me, and I was faced with a horrible little off-white room, decorated entirely in a style I like to call late-period state institutional. 1 metal table, 2 metal chairs, 1 overflowing ashtray, 1 softly sobbing leg breaker, a half-empty cup of coffee, and a big-ass mirror. 104,729 holes in the ceiling. I got bored and counted one time. Interestingly, that's also the 10,000th smallest prime number. Not sure what that means, but I'm working on it. I considered the question of the leg breaker. I weigh in at about 78 pounds, so I would put this guy at about roughly 5 times my total mass. How much did I really want to press this, considering my best bet was probably to say something along the lines of, "Wait, this isn't where I parked my car," and walk right back out. Damn it, I could be sleeping right now. On the other side of that big-ass mirror, a video camera was watching us. Here in about 10 seconds, it was going to start spitting static at itself, and everything was going to break up into a fuzzy, gray-white wash, rolling up and down that wouldn't be admissible as evidence on Judge Judy. Those missing frames would last a little less than a quarter of a minute, consolidate themselves back into a semblance of reality, and then I would theoretically go walking right back out of here. Between now and that moment, there stretched an infinite ocean of potential time. Time enough to walk around the world. Time enough to fall in love, to get married on a white beach under purple stars, write a book of poems about truest passion, have a few good and bloody screaming matches, get divorced in a court of autumn elves and gypsy moths, then set the ink-stained, tear-streaked pages of your text ablaze. Time enough to dance around the bonfire naked and cry with a group of friends, and finally fall asleep drunk with all of your teeth punched out. Time enough to go insane just waiting for the thinnest hand of the clock to go click one more time. Time enough to get killed in any number of horrible ways. I tried not to focus on that last part. Christ, the things I do to avoid federal prison. I set my cell phone down on a table and I glanced at the time. 11:59 p.m. I looked at the heavily tattooed leg breaker and I wondered if I maybe shouldn't have brought a much larger knife. So, hey man, you doing all right? Red-rimmed eyes, deep and black and not used to crying, glared up at me. Well, his first instinct wasn't to assume that he was hallucinating. That was a start. Look, okay, I'm not a cop. You knew that already. I'm just a guy. I don't know anybody. I don't know anything. I'm here to talk. I have no idea why you're here. There's literally nothing that you can say to me that will get you in any trouble. I hopped up onto the chair across from the big bastard and I stole another look at my cell phone. 11:60 QM. Showtime.